of ITC when they actually spoke to ET Now, and yes, Vinny, you broke the story. The story is now confirmed. The board has given an in-principle nod to go ahead with the demerger of the hotels business.
Absolutely, that demerger of the hotel business, what we're watching out and waiting out for as well. And when you look at it, it's absolutely in terms of value creation as well as what they were talking about for the stakeholders. And let's go across to Nikunj, who is here with us as well. And Nikunj, when you look at it, this value creation is something that everyone was talking about for ITC. Finally, the announcement has come in terms of the demerger. What are you picking up in terms of reading for this? Because this is what everyone was waiting for as well, right?
So, Vinny, the good old Wall Street or Dalal Street adage, which is you buy the rumor, keep buying the rumor, but you sell the news and always exit when there are facts. So my sense is that the late run-up in the ITC stock, which has let's say happened in last 1 month, was also because markets in a sense were convinced. Sanjeev Puri had been dropping the hint. He dropped the hint at the last AGM. He dropped the hint at our mega exclusive interview. And now the hint in a sense has become a decision. What I'm trying to understand here is that why the stock has fallen down. So I think this could be a case of first buy the rumor, sell the news. B, in principle, demerger of hotel business, why this has been done. I think the hotel business is now reaching a size where it can independently run. And the synergies of the hotel business are no longer in sync with what the size of the hotel business is. ITC hotel business has become a large business. They're making a balance sheet asset light. This business was ring fenced and was introduced on the balance sheet of ITC's cigarette business, which was generating a lot of cash, and that cash was used as the capital to make these large hotels. Now that balance sheet has become feather light. They are following what could be called as a asset light model and a lease based model. See, they become large, and the hotel industry per se has been in an uptrend, so the cash flows for next 2 or 3 years are looking visibly strong. What I'm trying to understand here is that why will ITC own only 40% in this entity? That's what the flash says. I'm trying to again understand that if you are looking at a subsidiary when you have 100% holding, why would ITC be having only 40% holding in it? I mean, why will not this be a 51+% subsidiary of ITC? And what are they looking at? And how exactly are they looking at selling the 60%? Because that's what flash is. ITC told 40% in the demerged entity and 60% to be held by the holder. So I think this would be in sync with BAT. How much BAT will own? Okay, Abneesh Roy now joins us. So Abneesh, markets have been talking about it. We have been waiting, and now a rumor has become a reality. ITC has decided to demerge the hotel business. This is value creation in the medium to long term. Then why is the stock down?
Yeah, I think clearly this is a positive step from medium long term. Because the stock has rallied one way, if you remember. So in these kind of events, there can always be sell on news kind of a activity. But definitely this is positive because this was a low return ratio business for ITC, and they were also going towards management tie-ups, those kind of things, and investors were waiting for this for the last 2.5 years. So good to see that finally happening. This was taking away almost 20% of the capex last few years. So now the entity which will be left will be a more focused play on essentially cigarettes, FMCG, paper and agri, etc., which are much more closely linked and much more consumer facing from a FMCG cigarette perspective. So to that extent, it becomes much more focused entity, and people who want to play the hotels business also, they also get a focused entity. On why it is correcting, of course, as I said, this is more of sell-on news, and definitely stock has rallied one way, so you will always see profit booking happening. But this is a right step in terms of value unlock, given this was a key investor concern.
The press release says that ITC will have 40% ownership of the hotel business and 60% will be held by the shareholders. So how should one read into it? This means that BAT and other promoters will have 40% stake and remaining 60% will be with minority shareholders. Is that how the structuring is?
That we'll have to check. This release has just come. We are also just reading all those, so we'll have to wait for clarity from the management on this.
Board meeting, which in the next AGM, which is on 14th of August, ITC will give a the details of the demerger, how this will happen. So, Abneesh, if one has to look at ITC, right now all the four businesses are firing full cylinders. FMCG business has become large and it is free cash flow positive. Tobacco business volume growth is not bad at all, given that they're gaining market share from the illicit market. Hotel business is in some kind of a mini bull run, and paper business has never had it so good. So, what is in store for shareholders now?
No, clearly in the latest annual report also a lot of data points have been shared. So I would say that the rational tax policy by the government for cigarette business, obviously that is extremely important. And cigarette and FMCG really are contributing most of the SOTP. So what happens there, that would be the key determinant, and we are positive on both. So cigarette clearly still almost 21% is still illegal. So because of the rational tax policy, we expect that more market share gains for ITC and other legal players will happen. So that continues to be positive, as you rightly said. In fact, in Q1 also we expect almost 9% kind of volume growth in cigarette business, which is ahead of most of the other staple companies. For example, HUL, which is a staples company, saw just 3% volume growth. So cigarette company growing at 9% is because of the rational tax policy. And within FMCG also every year 50, 100 bps kind of margin expansion will continue to happen. So I would say yes, this was a key requirement by the investors which has happened. So slight seller news is happening, but that doesn't derail the story at all. We remain quite positive on the base business because of the above reasons.
I appreciate your time. Thank you for that quick take. The stock, well, you buy the rumor, sell the news, buy the rumor, sell the fact, whichever way you want to look at it. The run up in the stock had been quite extraordinary. Abneesh Agarwal joins us now. Abneesh, hi, good afternoon. Are you a bit surprised that here we are talking about long-term value creation, a split which everybody wanted when ITC has announced it, the stock has taken a nosedive?
You see, the main factor to look at is that if I look at, say, our SOTP estimates, the cigarettes and FMCG account for 80% of that, and hotels are just around 5% odd. Okay, so to expect that a business which is capital intensive will, you can say, create a very big shareholder value for a company of the size of ITC, which is having, say, market cap of, I think it should be roughly around, say, 5.5 lakh crores. So that is something which is I think the state was maybe, if I can use that word, overestimating the, you can say, the potential value unlocking from this.
Have you looked at the shareholding breakup? Because 40% will be held by ITC, remaining 60% will be held by the shareholders. What does this mean in terms of the breakup?
You see, in terms of breakup, it clearly suggests that in future, for example, people have been speculating from quite some time that ITC might even demerge the FMCG business or IT services at some point of time. So for a capital intensive business, if the company plans to hold 40% shares directly, then one can presume that if any demerger happens for some of the other businesses which are, I would say, which can create more value for ITC also and for shareholders also in the long term, any straight mirror image demerger is unlikely to happen, and even if it happens, ITC would continue to hold. I won't rule out a majority shareholding remaining with ITC if such a thing is to happen with, say, an FMCG or IT services in future.
So the sell-off in the stock, do you think it's justified or not, is what we're trying to understand for our viewers. Abneesh.
You see, I would say that it is pure that some expectations might have been built into the stock price. Because does it change anything, you can say, for the ITC shareholder? I don't think so. Because the largest hotel company in India is currently having 55,000 crores market cap odd. And if I look at our SOTP estimates of hotel business, that was around, say, 30,000 crores or roughly. So there might be, you can say, likelihood that eventually this company might get a valuation of, say, not 30,000 but maybe 35, 36 or 40. But does it a big game changer from the shareholders' perspective? I don't think so, because our value club for hotel business is 23 rupees per share. Even if I presume that once it gets separated, it might get, say, 20-25% premium, but that is also then not more than 30 rupees per share. And when 50% of it, say 40% is with ITC, the value unlocking is not something which is very great. The only thing is that the balance sheet will become a tad lighter because it will not be a subsidiary, the numbers will not be consolidated. So I think it is more, you can say, some expectations build up into, you can say, any demerger or that, and usually what happens is that once the event happens, then usually there's some profit booking of that sort or something. But if you ask me from any long-term standpoint or medium term, this is definitely not a game changer for the company or the shareholder of the ITC stock.
All right, Amish, really appreciate it. I mean, Vinny, Cheryl, I think that is the sum and the substance. The stock has seen a vertical run up in anticipation that look, the demerger will happen. The demerger has happened. But now let's look at the reality of the demerger, which is you look at ITC as a sum of part. What is sum of part? 4 businesses, every business has a derived value. And how do you summarize it? So in sum of part, the hotel business in the aggregate picture of ITC is not even 25 rupees. That's a cigarette business, valuation 2.9 lakh crore, other FMCG business 1.7 lakh crore, agri business 670,000 crore. Let's bring it down even more to the hotel business, which is what you want to look at. If you look at the hotel business, it is 25,000 crore. That means it will be a sum of part of about 25 to 30 rupees. 25 to 30 rupees for a franchise like ITC, even if you get an independent share by end of the year and it just moves independently what is happening in the hotel industry, it could trade between 25 to 40, 40 to 45 depending on the year and the market condition. But the stock had seen a run up of more than 5 to 10% in last 1 month in anticipation of that. So while what is happening is great, while what is happening is good, minority shareholders should be happy and excited about it because you're going to be getting a world quality business. But ultimately the value of that business in the medium term will not be more than 25 to 50 rupees. If that is the case, then that kind of adjustment in the stock had already happened in run up to the news, and that is what is getting adjusted. In the short term, Vinny, share markets are a function of news, buzz, activity, khabar, and also the real assessment of what the true value of the business is. 25 to 40 rupees is the true value of the business. While markets will welcome this move, this is not going to move the needle permanently in terms of a stock re-rating because the stock already got re-rated massively in last 1 year.
Absolutely, the stock has got re-rated massively in the last 1 year, and that is why, like Nikunj was also saying, to buy the rumors and sell when the news comes. That is maybe what is happening, and value at 25 to 40 is what we could maximum see coming in for ITC, the hotel, as the demerger business as well, Sharon. But with that, viewers, we're absolutely out of time on this edition of Market Fatafat on ET now. It's a goodbye from Sharon, myself, as well as the team who put the show together.